Some questions about toy production, so I thought I would go ahead and make a video about it. So let's get right into it. Mark Lagon asked me, for your Bake Kujira piece, what was needed from you to produce a prototype? So they just needed the drawing, and you would do what are called turnarounds, and that is the front view, side view, back view of the toy. Like if you had the design in front of you and you were just turning it around to each side. And this is used for the sculptor to reference while they are creating your vision. And so if you were sculpting it yourself, you would probably also draw these. There's no particular way to do it. I just drew out a grid on my paper and then tried my best to draw how the toy would look from each angle. People also do the top view and bottom view. It depends on how particular you are about the sculptor interpreting your vision. Sometimes you can even just do one drawing and the sculptor will, put their own spin on it or just try to figure out what you're intending by that one view. Yeah, so it depends on how much control you want over it. So he also asked, did Tag coordinate the sculpt in manufacturing? Actually, I coordinated all of that. I originally wanted to self-produce Bake Kujira, and since then I have brought Tag on board to help me produce it. But even though Tag is now producing it along with me, I have been the main source of communication between the factory and Tag. And that's been a really fun experience getting to know Lulu Bell, and that's the whole reason why I was able to go visit the Sofubi factory when I was in Japan, which was awesome. And he also asks, is a wax sculpt needed to manufacture soft vinyl? Yeah, first you do the sculpture in clay, and then you have to do it in wax, and that's essential to prepare the sculpt for the mold. If you look at an uncut Sofubi disassembled, you'll see that there's extra vinyl sticking out from where they poured the vinyl into the mold. It looks completely different when it's assembled. So you have to prepare, the sculpt is, the clay sculpt is how you want your toy to look when it's assembled. The wax sculpt is how it will need to, it's like the inversion of how the mold will need to look, if that makes sense. But basically, yeah, you always have to do the wax sculpt. Have you ever tried manufacturing the toys yourself? Well, if you're talking about like self-producing, yeah, like I said, I tried to self-produce Bake Kujira. It turned out being a little too expensive, so now I am producing it with Toy Art Gallery. But you asked if you can self-produce resin. Absolutely. You can start making resin toys at your house right now. Vinyl toys, though, that is not the case. I don't know too much about vinyl because I've only designed for Sofubi. But from what I can tell, it seems like vinyl is like mass-produced, like assembly line factory stuff. Are you aware of soft vinyl manufacturers here in the US? I am not aware. I don't think there are any. If there are some, I would like to know about it, but as far as I know, all Sofubi factories are in Japan or China. And then I got a question on Instagram from KonkiDong64, and he asked, how do you even get started? Do you mean like get started doing art or get started doing toys? Either way, that's kind of a loaded question. Just start drawing, I guess. If you want to start making toys, I would say start out as a collector and get to know what you like and what you don't like, and observe the artists that you do like and try to critically analyze their designs. What are your rules for making your own toys? There are no rules. It's art, man. Sofubi definitely has some rules because of the way the production is and how the molds are. You have to know how that works. But yeah, as far as like, I don't know if there are any rules really for making toys. Don't rip off other people's shit. But I feel like if you're just doing your own style and being true to what you like, then you don't really have to worry about that. How would a new person get started? Okay, that's basically the same question, but start getting stuff on social media, free advertising, and start out as a collector. You can start out as a collector and just follow those people on Instagram and or whatever social media and talk to them, get to know them. You can go to Designer Con and meet a bunch of artists and toy designers there, and they are usually super friendly, and if they're not busy, they'll be happy to talk to you about stuff. So try to get to know all the people in the industry, try to become friends with them, and if you like their stuff and they like your stuff, maybe you can collaborate. And collaborations are very, very good. Do lots of collaborations. So Nutcase Art asked me, other than soft vinyl figures, what do you like to paint? Well, I like to paint wood panels when I'm doing oil paintings. I like to paint on wood. But I think you mean like 3D stuff. I don't know. I painted some vinyl, painted some resin. I really just like Sofubi, I guess. That's my favorite to paint on. Have you repainted anything really strange for yourself or a client? No, not really. If it's like really out there and I just don't like it, then I won't do it. I guess the weirdest thing that I painted were like those autopsy babies, but when I started airbrushing them, they started to get less strange to me, and I instead would try to find the beauty in them. It made me realize how intricate that sculpture was. I don't know, it grows on you. And let's see, Xtina Edge asked me, what got you interested in making toys? I guess it was like vintage kaiju toys, and I really wanted to collect them, but they were too expensive. And then I found that like newer kaiju stuff, which was just Sofubi, is a little cheaper, and so I started collecting those. And before that I collected some vinyl toys like Kid Robot stuff and Denny's and whatnot, but it was really like Nagora that got me super interested, and since then I've been in love with Konatsu, and I was like a really serious collector for a minute. Who are some of your favorite artists? Well, like what I said, Konatsu, Shoko Nakazawa, Ayako Takagi of Uamu, mostly female Japanese soft vinyl artists, because I think they're awesome and I want to be like them, and I hope they'll be my friends someday. And then I got a question on Twitter, and it's a question that I have been asked like my entire life, and he asked it in Japanese, Candie-san wa nani jin desu ka? So I think he's asking what ethnicity I am. I am mostly Irish. I'm German, Swedish, Dutch, and a quarter Chinese. Yeah, I get asked that a lot. Yeah, so I think that's it. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I will make another video and answer them. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching my video and for subscribing. Bye! And as you can tell from my collection, I use a